Welcome, everybody, to our community gathering here at Belvedere Family Community. I'm so happy to see all you wonderful faces here. And if you're new here, we have a very simple community gathering here. It's not really a big ritualized workshop, excuse me, service. It's more of a inspiring message and prayer and song and gathering and fellowship, and that's where all the magic happens. So we're definitely happy to have you here if you're new, and also if you're old. I just became old yesterday. Not time to retire yet. But here we go. There's lots of things going on. There's the community garden. So you're welcome to come into the garden after service. I don't know who's going to be building a fence today. It's hard work and it's going to be hot, but we've started. So we'd be happy if anybody wants to continue or doing some work. And just to let you know, I do go out to the garden alone sometimes. While the dew is still on the roses. But I'd like to have some company. If anybody wants to come to the garden, actually in the evenings around 6 to 7, they're welcome to come out there and help. And today we'll be gathering some fruits of the seeds we have sown. We're going to be, actually the Sunday school is going to be picking the garlic today. So if you don't want to venture out there, you can have some garlic. They'll be bringing it in from the garlic. It's been growing for the last, how many months? Like 8 months. Invisibly expanding under the ground. So it's going to be amazing. And there's also lettuce, cilantro, Swiss chard. And there's work to do too, if you want to. Yeah. It's So, my plug for the garden. Here we go. Belvedere Family Community Survey. This, the last 2 days, today and tomorrow, that's the deadline's tomorrow. So, if you want to fill out that survey and get your opinion heard about our community and the direction it's going, there's the QR code, or it'll be in your email if you get the community emails. So the 4th of July, before you go out to all your fireworks display or you go home and watch it on TV, you can come here and have a wonderful Food is Love event here at Belvedere. It's going to be a beautiful day, not too hot. It's going to be a great day for fireworks too, because it'll be clear and sunny. But we're going to have a lot of food and fellowship, and fun, and there'll be music, there'll be jokes, I think. I hear there's a couple of guys who are preparing some jokes, right, Peter? I got a couple of good ones I'm saving for them. Okay, so that's the 4th of July, Friday. Food is love and entertainment. Come out and experience that. It's going to be, it was fun last month. And 2 weeks from now, if you don't know what this is, then it's going to require more explanation than I can give you from up here, but it's our Chunbo Great Works, which will be in a big tent out on the lawn on Saturday, July 12th. And there'll be other things going on, like special Ansu sessions, which you have to sign up for. And on Sunday, there'll be a family festival. So I don't know too much about the family festival, but it'll also start up in the tent. There'll be music and vendors and fun things to do. So that'll be the day after. And similar to last year, if you were here last year. And with regards to that, if you want to join in with that and do some ancestor liberation and blessing, you can meet Kanai Holt and Asami Shirinova over there by the kitchen door in the back. Oh, over there. Okay. So, yep. They'll help you with all your questions, all about that. And one more thing before we get to the end. That's the last slide. There will be a Peace Starts With Me seminar, one-day seminar on July 26th in Spanish for those of you who want to invite somebody who would be better hearing it in Spanish than English. And if you want information, you can talk to Marina Falcone right there. She's greatly involved in that. Okay, so that's all the announcements for today. Let's bring up the song team and sing a few songs. The rest of the song team, that is.
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this summer day? Is it summer yet? Well, it feels like summer. One day 95 degrees, next day 75 degrees.
60
or 60, right? So, today we're going to sing 3 beautiful songs. In the Garden, The Generation of Righteousness, and we've a story to tell to the nations. So, are you ready to sing?
Yes.
Everybody ready to sing? Let's go. Can you stand, please? Thank you.
Wait a minute. Put the wrong one up there.
In the Garden.
In the
first
garden,
song.
please.
In the garden.
I come to the garden alone, while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear calling on my ear, the Son of God discloses, and He walks with me, and He talks with me, and He tells me I am His own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. He speaks, and the sound of His voice is so sweet, the birds hush their singing, and the melody that He gave to me within
and he walks with me, and he talks with me, tells me I am his own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. I'll stay in the garden with him, though the night around me be falling. But he bids me go through the voice of war. His voice to me is calling, and he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. And he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. Beautiful. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So let's go to the next song, The Generation of Righteousness. This song was chosen by our speaker today, Christopher. This is a fast song. Lyrics are very fast, so hope you can get it. As the day dawns out of the night, a generation will come forth, a generation of righteousness, walking the way, the heavenly way of truth. Babylon, we will message to send, the resurrection is at hand, and the generation of righteousness coming not forth to heal the wounded land. For the dark will give way to the light, and the rays will rise out of the mud, and the generation of righteousness will go forth, shedding their tears, sweating their blood, and the blood of our God will perform for his own to make fertile and dry desert stand. And he'll gather the fruit of the seeds he has sown, trampling vintage for the marriage of the Lamb. Oh, God has given this land, claiming his right, winning his right, we stand. You who have built a new age, give me your hand, brother, I know we can. As the days are light, a generation will come forth, a generation of righteousness, walking the way, the heavenly way of truth. Amen. You did it. You did it. Yeah, that's a tongue twister. So many lyrics. We've a story to tell to the nation. That's another beautiful song. We've a story to tell to the nation that shall turn their hearts to the right. A story of truth and mercy, a story of peace and light, a story dawning, and the dawning to noonday bright. And the Christ's great kingdom shall come to the earth, the kingdom of love and love. All the women, only women.
Be the song to be sung to the nation.
Sing up.
God shall lift your hearts to the Lord.
Beautiful.
Be the song that shall conquer evil and shatter the spear and sword.
Shatter the spear and sword.
And shatter the spear and sword.
All together. For the darkness shall turn to the dawning, and the dawning to noonday bright. And the Christ's great kingdom shall come to the earth, the kingdom of love and love. All the men only. We've a message to give to the nations, that the Lord who reigneth above hath sent us his Son to save us and show us that God is love. And show us that God is love. All together. For the darkness shall turn to the dawning, and the dawning to noonday bright. And the Christ's great kingdom shall come to the earth, the kingdom of love and love. Sing out, everybody. We've a Savior to show to the nations. Oh, the path of sorrow has thrown, that all of the world's great people might come to the truth of God. Might come to the truth of God. For the darkness shall turn to the dawning, and the dawning to noonday bright. And the Christ's great kingdom shall come to earth, the kingdom of love and light. And the Christ's great kingdom shall come to earth, the kingdom of love and light. Amen. Beautifully sung. Thank you very much. You may be seated.
Good morning. Let us bow our heads in prayer. Dear Heavenly Parents, we are so grateful for your love. We're so grateful for this beautiful summer weather that you have given to us. We realize that this is really a time of growth, Heavenly Parents, in every way. You have raised us up, and all of nature is growing and blooming and going forth. And let us also, Father, really grow in every way, grow in our love, Heavenly Father. We are love and compassion, kindness, and in every way. We want to appreciate your great love and for bringing us to this point. We want to pray for the whole congregation, for each and every person here, Father, and for those who are at home, for those who are watching over Zoom, and for even those who weren't able to be here, Heavenly Parents. Father, we pray for all of your children, Father. As a parent, we know that you love each and every one of us so much, so deeply, Father. And you really want to raise us up, Father, and help us to fulfill, to bloom and grow, and to fulfill in every way, Father. Open up our hearts, open up our minds today, Heavenly Father. Father, so that we can bring your great kingdom to the earth, so that we can indeed be a generation of righteousness. Father, let us put that into practice. Let us now prepare our minds and our hearts to receive these words from our elder brother, Chris Perkins, Father. Let us open our hearts and our minds and to receive your words through our brother as we are attending our Holy Mother Han. And I want to pray this in my name, Jim Stennard, as a blessed central family Jew.
Thank you, Brother Jim, for that wonderful prayer. So, everybody, we've got a special treat today. Our pastor, as you may or may not know, is away in Las Vegas, and that enables us to have a very special guest speaker, whom we all know very well because he's the chairman of our council and he's been around here for a long time. And if any of you are feeling a little timid or shy this morning, this sermon is for you because it's called Be Brave. And let's welcome up Chris Perkins to speak to us.
Good morning, everyone. Actually, I think this sermon is for me. Okay. I don't know. I think perhaps we should just sing songs all day. What do you think? I love those. I love those songs. And thank you, Raul. Let's give Raul a big hand and the music team because they and Rumiko on the piano. And I tell you, I was it last week or a week before? Rumiko played those couple of pieces from the Moonlight Sonata. They just took me away. I mean, wasn't that awesome? Give it a round of applause. We are so blessed in this community to have so many amazing, talented people, and you know, I'm not quite sure which way this is going to go because I'm trying to put my trust this morning in someone upstairs, and so can you do that with me? Yes. Yeah, sure? Yes. Okay, thank you. All right, then we're done. Oh well. Okay, I'm all fingers and thumbs up here because this is a new experience for me. But, you know, any of you like signs? You know, you get little signs. Things happen, right, in the day. You know, somebody bumps into you or you see something, a bird flies by or something like that. Anyway, this morning I was cooking, actually boiled a couple of eggs for my wife and I to have breakfast before we came out. And you know how eggs are when you boil them? You know, sometimes you peel them and they come off just fine. Sometimes you peel them and they come off, and half the egg comes off with the eggshell, right? Well, this morning the egg came out and it peeled beautifully. I thought, this is a sign. We shall see. Anyway, on the wall in my office, there is actually well, I'll go back a bit. In October last year, you know, we used to do the Chonshin One prayer in the morning, and there's a lot of time for prayer. Well, one morning in October last year, I just got this. I never really had this experience before, but it was a very clear message to me, and it was like just a statement, and it was so profound to me that I wrote it down, and it's now pinned on my wall. Well, it's not pinned on the wall now because I brought it with me, but and it says this. It says, "True comfort is derived not from a familiarity with old ways and traditions, but from the knowledge and experience of the living presence of God." And that, to me, it just hit me, and it really, anyway, it just hit me as something that I keep on the wall, and I read it every now and then, and I think about it, and it's really something that I think we all yearn for, right? Is this yearning to live with God's Spirit in us all the time. But so often it's so tempting to think back to, you know, things that make us comfortable, whether it's your favorite blanket or it's, you know, the way you like to line the shoes up in the closet, or, you know, I always, you know, leave home at this particular, all these things around. And if you disturb one of those, sometimes our whole world gets kind of shaken up a bit, right? And but how much more important it is that we just learn to live with God with us, every breathing moment, and so that He has this open doorway to speak and to work and to share and to serve through us, because we need to be that way for each other. And I think especially in this time of change and transition that we're in right now, I think it's some of those things may be coming up. The old things are coming up, and say, wait a minute, don't forget me. But actually, maybe some things we need to forget for a bit. Just put them aside. And yeah, and the other day when I got this text from Pastor Justin, he said, so I'm going to be out of town. Can you please say something at Sunday service? So, and I said, so I'll say something. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Anyway, I've been telling him, look, I really like you. I want to support you, and I'm here for you. And I think we do, right? We want to support him, right? He's a great pastor, and we love him. We want to support him. And so I've been saying this to him, and then he asked me, so, well, I can't really say no, having said all that. But on the other hand, I'm a little bit nervous to say yes. And so it was in a text, and I was looking at the phone. I can't say yes. I'm struggling. What do I do? So the wise thing to do in that situation is to go to the fridge and find some chocolate. So I got this piece of chocolate out, right? And I unwrapped it and I put it in my mouth. It was dark chocolate. Dark chocolate's the best. And it just melted. And it just kind of, as it was melting and disappearing, I was feeling better. And then I noticed that the wrapper, and actually I've got the wrapper right here, and it's a Dove chocolate. And I thought, Dove, a message from heaven. And so inside they have these little sayings, right? And sometimes they're a bit kind of but this one, anyway, it said, be brave enough to be bad at something new. So this is going to be a really bad sermon. Anyway, thank you, God, for using these little signs. Matthew, you get it. These little signs that teach us, right? And okay, so now to the message. Actually, I want you to listen to a couple of scenes, and these scenes, anyway, they have a purpose. Anyway, the first one is called The Bicycle. I'm sorry, I got that the wrong way around. The first one is called The Kite. The second one's going to be The Bicycle. This is called The Kite. Mr. Brown gripped the homemade kite tightly as the gusty wind tried to tug it free. This was his third trip to the field behind the house today, and his 7-year-old son, Max, stood 30 feet upwind. Let it go, Max's young voice sailed by in the wind as he clung onto the ball of string with both hands. Should he let it go? What if it made a big loop and crashed into the ground again? With a deep breath, Mr. Brown loosened his fingers just a little, and without hesitation, the kite escaped, shooting upwards in the strong breeze. Mr. Brown's lips pressed together as he gazed at his son. But Max was oblivious, because in his world, only two things existed, which is the kite and him. The second little scene is called The Bicycle. Okay, ready to go again? Mr. Wheeler asked, sounding quite out of breath. Okay, Judy squeaked nervously, gripping the handlebars. Mr. Wheeler bent down and with a hand on the back of the saddle, gently pushed her bicycle along the quiet cul-de-sac one more time. "Pedal harder, Jody," he said. "I am," she insisted. But then she did lean on the pedals more strongly, and the bike moved ahead without him pushing. Gently, he let the saddle go, but still ran beside her, keeping his hand close by. Soon Jody was wobbling along beyond his reach, so he slowed to a walk and watched as she rode on to the end of the cul-de-sac. "Use the brake," he muttered to himself. Finally, she came to a stop, and putting one foot on the ground, turned her head and shoulders, expecting to see him next to her. "Daddy!" she yelled scoldingly. Mr. Wheeler Mr. Wheeler just smiled and clapped his hands. Anyway, those are how many parents can identify with those things, right? Most of us probably. And we can probably identify with them from both directions, from the direction of the parent and from the direction of the child. And what is the point about those experiences? Well, from the child's point of view, they are experiencing something new, and it's a little bit scary, and so it takes courage, right, to step into that world and to have that experience. And from the parent's point of view, they need to have the courage to let go. Breathe. And if you think back and can remember, those experiences when you let your little ones and then the not so little ones and then perhaps bigger than you ones, when you need to let go, that can also be kind of difficult, painful, challenging. You need courage to do that. I mean, from a toddler, when the toddler is getting up, they're inching their way along the coffee table, and then they come to the end of the coffee table and there's a gap to the couch. And then that gap can be monumental for a toddler. And you're sitting there watching them and you want to reach out, then you hold back and you say, no, no, no. And then eventually they kind of stagger, fall, and they grab the couch and you think, oh my God, they made it. And that is, that's the heart, of a parent. But and that goes again. Think about when your child stepped onto the school bus. That's a scary one. All right, the first time, you can't let him out of the house, let him go by himself on the school bus. Or the child, sometimes, you see children at the bus stop, they don't want to let go of mom's skirt, and it's time to you go on, but they're dragging the skirt with them. They want to take it, and that's another scary moment. But and many more as we grow older, they keep coming. And when I was 10 years old, my parents, we came back from Malaya, and they thought, from my education, they'll send me to a boarding school. I may have told some of you this before, sorry, but hear it again. And that was very difficult for me because I'd spent the last 3 years I spent in shorts and flip-flops. Now here I was in a British boarding school wearing, jackets and ties and leather-soled shoes, and we did strange things like Latin, and which I'd never heard of before. And anyway, I didn't last there. I only lasted 2/3 of a school year, and then I was so homesick and struggling that my parents just took me back. Okay, that's not working, But then I went to another school where I really wasn't doing well either. It was a day school, and they weren't so academically strong at that school. And my dad had a conversation with the teacher one day, and the teacher said, well, he'll be lucky if he gets a couple of exams, maybe. And my dad said, no, I'm sending him back to boarding school. And he did. And so at 13 years old, I went back to boarding school again, where I was there for 5 years. And that was really a saving grace for me. But that was hard. That was really hard. I was homesick there too for the first, every time you get dropped off at the beginning of a term, you get those separation anxiety and tears, and, you go and hide in a corner for a while, and then, okay, then you get into the routine, stop kicking the ball around with the other guys, and things are okay. And, but also for my parents, I'm sure that was difficult. It was also expensive. But anyway, so these things, we do them because the parents are concerned. They want to teach us, equip us with life's lessons, right? So that when we go out into the world, finally, we're well equipped to deal with life and to do well. And so that's why they will sometimes go through that pain, right? And put us through these things. And that's why we have maybe done the same things for our children, or we try to do our best, right? And that, it's all kind of preparation for the big letting go, which is what? Which is when the children leave home. They leave the nest, after high school, they graduate. They may leave to go to college. They may leave to go to gap year program. They may leave to go, may go straight to work. And then sometime they actually move out and move away. And that is the big letting go, which is difficult on both sides. And sometimes it happens so quickly that maybe you don't realize it. I mean, I was one day at home. I was after our son had left home, and I forget whether he was either at college or already working at this time. But it was time to kind of reclaim that room. It was his. So I went into the room, pulled all the furniture into the middle, and the walls he painted them a dark green. Okay. If I was going to be in my office, I couldn't have dark green, sorry. So I started painting it, and I was rolling. It took about 2 or 3 coats of undercoat to cover up this dark green paint. But when I got to that last corner, I was covering up the green, it suddenly hit me that this wasn't Michael's room anymore. He doesn't live here anymore. And then I got it. It's like, ding, it's like, wow. And that was a wake-up moment. And for our daughter, Jennifer, it's like it happened when, right after high school, she went to NGA, the GAP program. And just before in her high school year, she had, I taught her how to drive, and she got a driving test. And the next thing I know, after 2 or 3 months on NGA, we're on a phone call with her, and she says, "Oh, and I'm driving a van, and I've got, we're going fundraising." And I said, "You're what?" My little girl driving a van full of people. Wait a minute, are you wearing your seatbelt? Do you change do you check the lights and tires? And it was like, wait. You can't do that anymore. It's like you let go of the kite. I can't do anything with the kite anymore. Sorry. It's gone. And so you just have to trust, that what you did up until then is going to, hold true. And it's all, about developing courage. And courage, why? Because you can't guarantee the outcome. There's a possibility that things might not work out. It might fail. And now behind these experiences, which is when us as parents letting go, or us as children, stepping into something new. I say children or children of any age. We can also step into something new, even if we're grandparents, right? But at any age, stepping into something new, what is happening? God is really teaching us how to grow, right? He wants us to grow. And he never gives up on that. I mean, it doesn't matter whether we're a toddler learning to bridge that gap from the coffee table to the couch, or whether we're, a grandparent, trying to say something inspiring at Sunday service. It doesn't matter. It's all about growth. And it's, and that's what God is really most interested in, right? And then this is all talking about the individual level and the family level, but I think the same is true for us on a community level. There is growth as a community, and this we experience together, collectively. And But the same things apply, as a community. We have to be ready to let some things go, if they're not relevant anymore, and also be ready to try some new things. And, I mean, and if I was listening to Reverend Dunkley's presentation of, the discourse on True Mother's Revelations the other day. And in the last session that happened just a couple of nights ago, then he had that, he said that, when you come out of the desert, we can now hang up those sandals and hang up that old wineskin. I mean, you don't really need to carry them with you anymore because you're not using them now, but they're kind of things that we depended on and we relied upon and was essential to our survival for many years. And there are some things like that for us now, which in the past years, these things we've depended on, they've been essential to our survival. But we have to ask ourselves, do we need them now? And sometimes in order to move forward and to try new things, it's important to let them go. And, it's probably different things for each of us. But identifying those things and having the courage to let them go. And it's like, who's that, the lady who did that clean up your house thing? Marie Kondo. Yeah. She had this way of letting go of things, right? So she said, you don't just say, yeah, done with that. Yeah, done with that. But it was more like, yes, thank you for your service. I appreciate, what you've done. Fold it up nicely and put it on the pile, to donate somewhere. So really giving gratitude and appreciating it. So our sandals that we wore through the desert, I'm grateful for them. If you want to keep them, fine. Put them in the museum. When you see them, you can remember those times which you went through and where you fought and we struggled together and we had success and we survived together. And said that, done that. All right. So the thing is, we want to live, with the living presence of God in our lives, and with Him, we want to move together as a community into a new era, into a new age. Chanuguk, Kingdom of Heaven, many names. But in order to do this, we need to be flexible, because it's a moving battle, right? Things are always changing. And it might mean that we have to let go of something, and it might mean that we have to try something new. But whatever it means it's going to require courage. And it's going to require us to help and support each other as we go along this journey. And I think looking around us, I think there's a lot of evidence of the living Spirit of God being with us. I mean, on the big scale, we got the opening of the Chonwon-gun, right? And Chonul Sanctum. And then, Reverend Dunkley's discourse on the True Mother's journey. And by the way, I love that map. The map that he does in the summary, it's like, to me, that's like, the parallels of history on steroids. It's like, it really impacted me, so much. I really appreciated that. But locally also, we have things changing and growing. We have a new charter now, and we have a new structure. We have young people stepping up. This is really, I'm so impressed. I'm so inspired. Young people really stepping up and volunteering for positions and helping out. All our ministry leaders, they're sincerely involved and committed to what they're doing. And we have the arrival of Reverend Kikuchi and Hannah over here. And the best thing to me is just seeing the spirit and the energy of our young people at that meet and greet that we had, last week over at the Agora House. I mean, the spirit that was there and just the camaraderie and support and those guys playing volleyball. I mean, they are mean. I've seen some of those spikes, but this spirit, it's intensity. That to me, is a light bulb of hope and encouragement. And these are all things, I think, which I take as evidence of God's Spirit living with us. But of course, it may come in many small ways too, between us as couples, as families, as friends, and together as a community. And as we move towards this new era, it's like there's no like magic line on the ground where, okay, when you're standing on this side, you're in the old age. And if you take one step across there, now we're in the new era. It's not like that, right? It happens gradually. It's like night turning into day. Your phone will tell you, okay, at a certain time it becomes day. But that's just an app. I mean, in reality, it takes time for the first crack of that silvery glow to come over the horizon until, the sun's beating down on you. It's a process, and it's going to take us a process and time. It requires, as well as courage, it's going to require patience and cooperation with each other. So, okay, I'm almost at the end here. So, from my point of view, I'm really particularly inspired by three young men who have stepped up to serve with me on the council. Junpei and Toshiaki and Kushal. I really appreciate each one of them because that took courage on their part. And I think in some senses, it also takes a little letting go, perhaps, on some of us in the community who are a little older, to let the younger minds and bodies, step in, step up, and take hold and move forward. And but these guys, we've only met once, but I tell you, in that one meeting, I really got it that these guys are serious. And I think, please pray for them because I think they're serious and they really are invested in this community. And that is so inspiring. Yeah. Also on the council, we have one slightly less young person join, which is Mike McDivitt. I'm really grateful to Mike. This is a new development for the council, which is we have someone from the East Garden Belvedere property represent and participate with us in the council proceedings. And this is, I think, so important because this is an incredible property, isn't it? Let's give it up for Belvedere because that's incredible. And if you want to, as another way to find God's Spirit is just take a walk around, just absorb it. Go to the garden, absorb it right there, right, Dominic? And, and this is really a blessing. It's a blessing for us. And so, and of course, Pastor Justin is also on the council. And this is one young man that I really appreciate and value. He has really grown so much, hasn't he, since he's been our pastor here, and he continues to grow. And the more closely I work with him, the more happy and glad I am that he is where he is, doing what he's doing, and I'm really, appreciative and glad for the chance to work with him. And so please also remember him in your prayers, and he also is one who's very willing to try new things, and that is really important if we're to go forward. So really, that really brings me to the end, and I'll leave you with that thought that, be brave enough to be bad at something new today. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Brother Chris, for that very insightful and personal and emotional. Oh, yeah. Very great message. So we're going to take a few minutes to do some pair share with 2 or 3 people nearby you and go over some of your insights from that message, and then we'll talk to the whole community. Can you guys play some music? little background music. Okay, it's time to let go of your conversation. All right. Thank you, everybody. Sharing your inspirations with each other. So, who wants to be brave and share your inspiration in front of the rest of us? Oh, okay. I'm going to hand this mic to you. What was your name?
Kyunghui Sakua. Morning, everyone. So I just want to thank Uncle. I just remember Perkins. I'm so sorry, Uncle Perkins, Chris Perkins. Thank you so much for your sermon. I just wanted to share briefly what I was sharing, and that is that with courage, I felt like I really liked your example of the sandals, actually, because we use them to get out of the desert, right? But if we made it to, for example, like an oasis or a city, then we don't really need them anymore. But also, I really appreciated how you encouraged us to identify what it was that we needed courage to face. Because if, for example, I was wearing sandals, but I didn't recognize it until, I was 50 miles into like a different environment, then it's like I wouldn't have had like the best equipment for that time. So I think that for me, what I want to do this coming week is I want to understand what it is I need courage to face, but also to do it quickly. Because sometimes I think about how, and maybe in our movement, we could have, maybe with courage, done things quicker, with any time. There's always providence, and when we don't unite fully, it can be delayed. So that's why rather than being in a midway position and wasting God's time, or maybe not wasting, because we still learn, but still, I think the quickest way forward may be to see, okay, what am I wearing right now? What do I need? What I don't need? Things that I don't, and then quickly move forward so that, God doesn't have to wait. Your mother doesn't have to wait any longer. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you. I always find it interesting that the inspiration that somebody may have is far beyond what the sermon was, right? That's great. Thank you for your sharing. Anybody else? Somebody is pointing. Are we pointing to George? Johei. Johei-san. He's going to be brave.
Yes, this is a result of today's sermon. The first time I think I share the Sunday service.
Oh, yeah.
When Chris talked about his experience when he was younger, small, about, he got homesick. It was kind of, I never expected, he was like that. And my experience, maybe cannot imagine. When I was still in kindergarten, so when I started kindergarten, I couldn't go by myself. Always my mom took me right to kindergarten. And he was watching from window, the classroom. And when she leaves, I started crying hard, every day, many days. And then one day, my mother promised me she would buy a toy for me. So please, no, please go to kindergarten. And he bought me nice Shinkansen toy. But when that day she bought me the toy, it really hit me. I kind of clearly understood, oh, she really loves me. She really wanted me to go to kindergarten. So from that day, no problem. I started going. So sometimes in the street, toy or
Sometimes you just need a nudge, right? You need a nudge in the right direction. There's a book about all that, right? Okay, anybody else like to share? Thank you, Chohei-san. Oh, Angela.
For me and for Renato, we were sharing. I think let go bring you to trust. That if I trust, then I let go more easy. God trusts me, I can go forward. So I have to trust my children, wherever, someone else, that they can do great.
Thank you, Angela. So thank you, everybody, for sharing. There's more sharing, more fellowship to be done after service. So if there's nothing else, let's bring up the song team and sing our final song together.
Okay, here we go. And here we are at the end of the sermon. Thank you, Chris, for that very beautiful sermon. It was like reading a beautiful book. Yeah, well done. Well done. I'm sure Pastor Justin will keep you in mind for more. Yes, you did too good. We'll sing the song, Tongil Song of Unity. All together.
우리의 소원은 통일 그대로 소원은 통일 이 목숨 바쳐서 통일 통일이여라 이 교회 살리는 통일 이 나라 찾는 내 통일 통일이어서라 통일이여라
Our cherished hopes.
Our cherished hopes are for unity. Even our dreams are for unity. We'll give our lives for unity. Come along, unity. Unity saving the people. Unity saving all nations. Come here with unity. Come along, unity.
And very good. Interesting. So thank you all for coming today. Enjoy the rest of the day. It's beautiful outside. And don't forget to go get some stuff from the garden. God bless you all. Have a great week.